You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, Rusties. You are listening to episode 248 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for June 23rd, 2019, year of our Lord. All hail the dreamer. Long may he slumber.
Long may he slumber.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandoned ship, all personnel proceed to escape pods. Close that circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
I am the law.
Put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And now we take a quantum leap forward.
Hi, I'm Shawn.
I'm Kitty.
I'm Josh.
And we are the Rusted Robot Podcast.
Yes.
Now, who is long slumbering what now?
He's Cthulhu.
He sleeps in the city of Rillier.
Until the stars align.
And then what happens?
Then he is awakened.
And?
He brings madness.
Oh. Well, that sounds horrible. Why are we worshipping this man?
Long may he slumber.
Oh, long may he slumber. Oh, we want him to stay asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, so we don't go mad.
Yeah. Don't go rocking the alarm clock.
Okay.
Just keep hitting that snooze button.
Oof, I was worried there for a second. I
No.
wasn't sure what was going on.
We're not looking to, wake him up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long may he slumber.
Long may he slumber.
That's a good idea.
I wish I was Cthulhu.
Could you like to sleep?
I love sleeping. Sleeping is a good time.
All right. Well, that's cool. So what are we going to do this week?
Talk about stuff?
Hey, isn't that what we did last week?
Yes, but in a slightly different way.
Oh.
Because we're trying new things out.
We are trying new things
Yes.
out. I guess that's why we had Kitty open up the program this week.
Yes.
Is that why?
Yeah, we figured the podcast might be getting a little long in the tooth, a little bit stale.
Oh, okay.
Gotta switch it up every once in a while.
Make it fresh, yo.
Make it fresh, yo. Yes. Yes. You'll talk all urban like, and I will say it as a proper English gentleman.
Totes.
Totally. Like that.
Totally wouldn't be a complete sentence, though, on its own. You'd have to fill in more than that.
Yes, quite. Totally.
Indubitably.
Indeed.
Quite.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
I say.
Or maybe we'll just stick to our regular pop culture routine.
Well, we should start thinking about how to get out of this funk. I'm going to ask the listeners right now, this early stage, we're going to listen to the end to listen to where you get all the stuff, but I think we should do segments.
What kind of segments?
We're going to do trailers. And
we always do trailers.
Yeah, and
random science news.
Random science news, I think we should bring that back.
Okay.
And I think we should do other things. And I'm going to ask, what do the listeners want to hear?
That's right.
What do they want to know about?
That's a good question.
So,
yeah.
Give us your recommendation for a segment.
You know what we haven't done in a while?
What's that?
Celebrity Death of the Week.
That was actually a pretty well done segue.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
I think
nail
it was
them.
the best of them. It's just that they're often so inappropriate.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who would you kill this week?
Actually, I wasn't going to mention him at all, but since you asked, Star Trek writer Peter Allen Fields passed away this week.
Oh, that's sad.
He wrote In the Pale Moonlight and The Inner Light, to name just a few episodes.
Ooh, Inner Light's a good episode.
So it was that guy. So he passed away this week. It's very sad news for Star Trek world.
How old was he?
I don't have any idea. I wasn't expecting to bring this up, but since you asked, let me go to IMDb.
So I beat Shawn to it because my Google foo is stronger. So he was born in 1935.
Oh, wow.
So he's 84 years old.
That's a good life.
So he had a good run on that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But, you know what? Better to go old than go young.
Well, that's true. And my good friend Robert J. Sawyer.
Hi, I'm Hugo Award-winning science fiction writer Robert J. Sawyer, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast.
On Facebook this week posted that he had passed away. I guess they knew each other, and he said he was responsible for one of the best episodes of The $6 Million Man as well. So he wrote quite a few scripts throughout the decades.
So he's got 3 next-gen credits.
Okay.
Half-Life, Cost of Living, and The Inner Light. He's got for Deep Space Nine, Dax, Progress, Duet, The Circle, Necessary Evil, Blood Oath, Crossover, From the Uniform, In the Pale Moonlight, and The Dogs of War. And he's also written for Xena,
Yes.
Knight Rider,
That's right, I heard that as well.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and Eddie Capra's Mysteries. I don't know that one.
I've never heard that.
I don't know that one. No. Glad that he lasted as long as he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I rather did enjoy some of his work. And
Agreed.
Yep, so quite a blow to the Star Trek community.
And to his family. Our condolences to his family, because obviously they listen to the podcast.
Well, who doesn't?
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to start the podcast off with Death of the Week, but we were talking about segments, and that's one that we hadn't done in quite a while.
Okay.
So there we go. Let's talk about something fun.
Okay.
I've recently cut sugar out of my diet, for the most part.
Ha 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 ha! I was like, that's not true. We just put sugar in your tea.
Yes. Okay, I have cut sugar out of my coffee. How about that? My morning coffee no longer has sugar in it.
Are you just going straight, or are you going like with a sweetener?
Are you kidding me? Straight? That would be disgusting.
Lots of people like their coffee black.
I
do not judge anybody on the way they take their coffee.
Right. Okay, well, here's what I've done. A friend at work, she's been taking MCT oil, which is a coconut oil derivative, and it's supposed to give you energy and help you sleep better. So I thought, hey, I should try that. And so I went to the health food store with her, and I got a bottle, and she's also putting ghee butter in her coffee. But it's like $25 for a little small bottle, so I didn't want to go quite that much. So another alternative you could do is grass-fed butter. And that's expensive. So I just bought regular unsalted butter. So you put
butter in your coffee?
You put butter in your cup, a spoonful. You make the coffee. You put in the MCT oil. You take that from the cup that you've made it in, put it in a larger carafe and a hand, like a magic bullet blender kind of thing.
Does it taste like?
It froths it up, and then I put it back in the regular coffee mug to drink it. And I tried it for the first time, and it was pretty gross because...
I was like, that sounds awful.
Yep. So I didn't want to put any sugar in because I'm trying to cut out the sugar, the processed, whatever, because it's bad for you. So I put in a little bit of French vanilla coffee cream, stirred it up. Was it ever delicious? You wouldn't even know there wasn't sugar in it.
It sounds a long and complicated process for nothing.
It's expensive. Like, I don't like coffee that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't have more than like an actual cup-sized cup, like a measuring cup-sized cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Without, it gives me tunnel vision and makes me feel sick for the rest of the day if I have more.
Wow.
So.
Okay. Well, I just make a regular cup in the morning with my breakfast, and it's the full-size Keurig selection, and I thought it would be disgusting without sugar. And surprisingly, you just put a little bit of coffee cream in, and it's quite tasty.
Have you tried, like, because they contain sugar?
Yeah, there's sugar in coffee.
Yeah, I know.
No.
But I was putting in the coffee cream and 2 or 3 sugars.
Oh.
So I've gotten rid of sugar altogether in my coffee.
Except
for the coffee cream.
Which has sugar in it.
Yes.
Have you tried, like, sugar alternatives, like Splenda or any of the other sweeteners?
I have not.
Generally discovered by scientists licking their fingers after getting home?
What?
Yeah, that's how they... let's start a segment about science facts.
So, yeah, a lot of artificial sweeteners were discovered because people didn't wash their hands after working in the lab.
Mm.
And, like, the one guy went home and he was eating bread and found out that it was really sweet. He's like, this is really sweet for bread. And he had a little bit of something on his hand and licked it and realized, oh no, it's my hands. They're super sweet. Whatever this thing at work was I was working with, it was super sweet.
So then he goes into work and figures out what he was working with the other day and then licks that substance, which that's not a safe practice for lab things. If you don't know what it tastes like and you're not sure if it's safe or not, you probably shouldn't be eating it on purpose.
Are we calling this segment Unhygienic Scientists?
No, because it could just be random science facts.
Okay.
Yeah, so an alarmingly large numbers of artificial sweeteners were discovered that way.
Well, that's kind of gross and dangerous, but interesting as well.
Yep. Weird science stuff.
Huh. I did not know this. So anyway, it's only been like 3 days since I've tried this, and I haven't really noticed much of an increase in my energy or sleeping levels.
Is that the main thing you're trying to do, is increase your energy levels?
Yes, because I'm always dragging my butt.
Have you ever tried...
cocaine?
No, I was going to say ginseng tea.
No.
Or, what are those ginseng vial extracts? Ginseng extracts and vials?
Mm-hmm.
Although, my mom used to drink ginseng vials.
Yeah.
And you're only supposed to have, like, one a day if you're doing that, because you don't necessarily even need one a day, but she was drinking like 2 or 3 a day.
That's a lot.
And she started moving like a hummingbird.
Oh, I don't need quite that much energy?
It was kind of awesome, though.
Is it infused with ginseng?
It is
ginseng.
That's all that it is.
And guarana?
No, it's just ginseng.
Just ginseng, okay.
It tastes bad, but it's in a vial, so it's like less than a shot glass worth of material.
Okay.
And you just down it. If you can drink your weird butter coffee.
Yeah. I thought it would be disgusting, and surprisingly it's not. I might eventually, if I keep this up, go for the ghee butter. It's some fancy stuff that you get online or at the health food store, but it's like $20 or $30 for a little tiny bit.
If it was me, I would stop drinking coffee.
I would like my coffee in the morning.
Switch to an artificial sweetener.
Yeah.
I don't think I need the coffee that much.
The whole reason was to get the MCT oil for the energy effects.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, see, if you switch to ginseng tea...
Yeah.
I'm not sure what MCT oil is.
It's the coconut oil kind of thing.
I'd have to look into it, but I'm gonna...
coconut oil. You know, if you get that stuff on you, you get superpowers immediately, and also all of your injuries and ailments are cured immediately.
Is that true?
Your teeth will grow back, too.
Not at all.
Nice.
It is not true. But that is one of many beliefs about coconut oil.
Will it make my hair grow?
So,
no.
anything...
But also, yes, that's what they say.
Anything that they say about coconut oil, automatically assume that they're lying. Then check what the supposed active ingredient in it that is giving you energy is. And then look at the bioavailability in this compound, because it might be there. But if your body can't pick it up, because like most multivitamins are garbage.
Right, that's true.
Because you can take it in, and it just goes through your system because it's not being picked up.
It gets filtered out by the kidneys.
Right, okay.
So, like, you got to look at the bioavailability of the thing you're taking.
That's like, for example, have you ever seen those vitamin D drops?
No.
They also call them sunshine drops, and you're supposed to put them on, like, citrus fruit and consume it that way.
Okay.
Your body is more likely to absorb it if you consume it with citrus. But if you just take, like, supplements without citrus, it's not going to do anything. It just gets sucked up into your kidneys that have to work really hard to shove it all out.
I did not know.
Yeah.
And this sounds like it's going to require a lot more research than my quick browsing online.
Yes. Also, don't go to healthfoodstore.com.
Yeah, no.
Surprise, they're trying to sell you things.
Yes, they would be.
But yeah, try ginseng. You'd be surprised.
Where can I get some?
Oddly enough, health food stores. But also, if you have any, like, Asian wholesale or food stores, Crazy Jerry's used to have it years ago.
Crazy Jerry's is now an outdoor market.
They might have it.
They might.
But it's generally, it's grown in Asia, and that's where they found out all the health benefits, so it's generally from Asian food stores.
Okay, that's good to know. I don't think we have any here in town, do we?
I don't know.
Maybe. We'll have to do some research.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, that was my little experiment this past week.
Okay.
Experiments are fun.
It's inconclusive, and I don't know if it's having any effect or not, but we'll see.
I, too, am running an experiment currently.
Tell us about your experiment, Josh.
So we got talking after the podcast last week, and we started talking about Mead, and then I was like, I kind of want to try making it, and then we looked up the recipes while we're talking. I'm like, it seems really easy. Screw it. I'm going to do it. So I spent some money from my allowance, because like me and Katie gave ourselves an allowance. This is what we can spend on whatever we want.
Oh, really?
The rest goes to bills.
Okay.
So
or saving.
Yeah. We make sure that,
all the bills are covered.
And then we just give ourselves a little bit of an allowance to play with.
Yeah.
So anyways.
The children also get allowances.
Yeah. So I bought the equipment, and it wasn't expensive. I got a 1-gallon jug and got some honey and some yeast. And I am currently making mead.
Yes, you are. You showed me the rig, the setup, and you said it's going to take 20 days to do the first stage.
Yeah, then I take it from the one bottle, I siphon it out, leaving all the crud at the bottom, right? So I leave as much of that as I can in the first jug, put it into the second jug. Once that's done, and I got my second jug going, I can clean out the first one and try to make a second batch in the first one.
Right.
And then I got to get bottles.
Yes. And it'll make about a gallon?
I am making a gallon at a time, so yes, it'll make a gallon.
And the whole thing will be consumable? Except for some residue?
A little of the crop at the bottom both times.
Okay.
So I figure I'll lose 50 milliliters each time.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
About the same amount you leave in your cup of tea.
There you go. Well, you know what? Just to prove you wrong, I'm going to drink the rest of my tea right now.
Ha!
Nope, didn't do it. It was too much. So you got a gallon of mead on the
go for the next till the 15th.
Okay, and it'll be completely done and ready to go by what? Today's as we're recording, it's Friday night, June 21st.
Okay, so first batch will be done on the 5th because that's
July.
20 days after I started it.
Okay,
and then so the next batch will be done 20 days later,
mm-hmm.
and then 1 day for the potassium sorbate to neutralize the yeast. So on the 26th, it'll be ready to drink.
On the 26th of July.
It'll be ready to drink.
We can drink some. We'll do a test, and we'll report our results back here. And I've never had mead.
I've had a little bit of mead, and Katie had a lot of mead.
A lot of mead.
That is true.
And it's really sweet, you were saying.
Oh,
because it's mostly sugar.
Here is the ingredient list.
Honey and water?
3 parts water to 2 parts honey. Add yeast. Let sit.
Okay. That does sound pretty sweet.
I wasn't a huge fan of it the first time that I tried it.
Right.
Which we had on our wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I drank it, because I had to have a shot a day for a month, honeymoon.
Aha.
And I wound up enjoying it. I think maybe after like the 4th day, and it wound up being okay.
And you had it every day for a month?
Every day for 1 month. It is a tradition.
Huh.
It represents fertility.
And you do have 2 children,
Mm-hmm.
so that does make a lot of sense.
There's also another way of doing it where you replace the water
Mm-hmm.
with cider.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Isn't that just more sugar?
Yes, but it adds flavor notes of the apples.
Ah.
So it's a combination of hard cider and mead, which has a specific name that I cannot remember because it's a Nordic name, and it's got an umlaut over a J, and I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that.
An umlaut.
Are we going to try one of those one day after you try this experiment?
Let us get batch 1 and 2 done to see if I can get consistency on it.
Good idea. Well, that's quite interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to trying it.
Sure.
And you should try coffee with butter in it to see if you like that.
No.
It's very different.
I am certain it is different.
Yep.
I like coffee with a little bit of coconut extract in it. Tastes great. But I'm not going to put
butter,
coconut oil in there.
No.
Okay.
I can't taste coconut.
Yeah, Katie can't taste natural coconut.
Ah, okay.
Can you taste artificial coconut?
Yes, I can. I know what it's supposed to taste like as long as it actually tastes like artificial coconut. I assume it's sweeter than real coconut.
Artificial coconut is generally sweeter, yeah.
Okay. But other than that, because I have nothing to compare it to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because all I can get is the texture. I can't taste real coconut.
Oh,
It doesn't taste like anything. It's a weird texture. I'm not a huge fan of coconut, mostly because it tastes like nothing to me.
Okay.
I used to go to the baking section and buy just bags of unsweetened coconut.
And
shredded coconut. Just eat it.
Out of the bag.
Yep, that was my snack.
Nice.
Yep. I got yelled at by a teacher for it.
I bet.
Yeah. They thought I was stealing things from my mom.
Ah.
Like, no, I bought that with my allowance.
Nice.
She didn't believe me.
Of course
I got
not.
detention.
Wow. How
The
rude.
story of your life.
Same. Well, it's my grade 3 teacher. She was a terrible, terrible human being.
Wow, I don't even know where to go from here.
Okay, so you guys want to know something cool?
Yeah, I always
Yes.
want to know cool things.
Okay, so I have some comic news.
Why would you have comic news? What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, well, I work at a super cool comic book shop here in Timmins.
What?
Yeah, 38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario, in Canada. You can find a super cool comic shop called Jump City. It's in the basement of the 101 Mall.
Huh. That's very specific.
It is very specific.
Well, I'm glad you told me because I would like to find this place and purchase.
Perhaps buy your file.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, so this last Wednesday that passed, because Wednesdays are new comic book days.
Yes.
So June 19th, they've released a brand new #1 Usagi Yojimbo.
Sweet.
Yeah, do you guys remember it?
I do.
He's the rabbit from the Ninja Turtles.
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is. So Stan Sakai, who writes and draws Usagi, he is friends with the guy that did Ninja Turtles. Or guys that did Ninja Turtles. I think it's 2.
Eastman and somebody else.
I can't quite
I think it's
remember.
Lord.
I don't remember.
It
doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Kevin
so
Eastman.
He's friends with them, and they decided that once Ninja Turtles got a TV show, they would do a crossover and put Usagi in the Ninja Turtles, and he came through the weird dimensional portal that Donatello had built.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they wound up making their weird crossover thingy. They also made a very short run series, and I remember seeing the pilot of like Usagi Yojimbo in space.
Oh.
But it didn't really make a lot of sense. And I don't think I saw anything after that, but I know for sure that I saw the pilot. Anyway, so they're re-releasing... Well, they're not re-releasing. It's a different comic altogether. You can follow the adventures of the rabbit Usagi as he wanders through Edo period Japan on his warrior's journey. In the start of this 3-part story, Usagi becomes embroiled in a puppet drama where the players are not quite what they seem. It's written, drawn, and lettered by comics legend Stan Sakai, and it's colored by Tom Wolfe. Start an exciting adventure in a new chapter of the epic ongoing saga of Usagi. It's published by IDW.
And the first episode came out this past Wednesday?
Yeah.
And you have it in your store currently?
No.
Oh, sold out?
Yeah.
Oh.
I really like Usagi, but I collect it as the trades instead, just because it's a little easier to manage.
Right, of course.
Yeah. I enjoy them a lot, though. They're really odd, and their art style is really, like, cute, but a lot of things get beheaded.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Because they're all like animal people.
Right.
It's very cute.
Okay.
And then I have other comic news.
More?
Yes.
Wow.
This one is for a comic that is coming out the next coming Wednesday.
Okay.
So the 26th of June.
Sure.
Did you guys know that they are making a children's Marvel Tales Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham?
No.
Yes, they are. And it is done with classic art style.
Neat.
I'm very excited about it. I don't have any other information on this comic yet. I'm just very excited about it.
So is it based on Into the Spider-Verse, the film that from last December, or?
Yes, it is it's based on Spider-Ham.
Okay.
So it is his weird, like, animal people universe.
Okay.
So my theme is animal people this week.
Nice.
But I think it is probably at least a little child friendly. I'm not entirely sure if it is going to be completely child friendly because
I bet it would be.
Spider-Ham occasionally says like off-color things.
Oh, okay, but it might go over the kids' heads.
It might go over their heads, so it might be fine.
And did you know that they're currently working on a Spider-Verse 2?
I did not.
Yes, they are.
I'm actually behind and haven't seen Spider-Verse yet.
I haven't either, but I heard it's awesome.
Both of the children have seen it.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Both of them have given it very good ratings.
I have heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Me too. Actually, there's also a really good soundtrack with it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You know what else is also really good? Other podcasts here on the ESO network. Josh, did you pick a promo for this week?
No, because we're going early. I didn't get a chance to pick a promo.
You didn't pick this week's promo, you didn't pick last week's promo, you didn't pick the promo the week before. What the heck, buddy? What the heck?
I choose this one.
Hey gang, are you looking for another podcast to listen to? Well, you're in luck. The Nerdy Laser is a podcast, and we specialize in 90s nerd culture. But we don't leave anything out. If something is cool and nerdy, we will talk about it. So join myself, Richard Yule, and a variety of guests on the Nerdy Laser podcast, available on iTunes, Podbean, and the ESO network.
Which one is that?
This one.
The Rusted Robot podcast?
No, this promo podcast.
That's supposed to be a jump cut to promo.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. That was a great promo that you just picked.
I know, I'm the best.
I can't wait
and so is that podcast.
It's awesome. I can't
Next
wait
to ours, of course.
Next to ours. Yes. Yes. Because there's so many great podcasts here on ESO Network, such as this one that we just played the promo for, the one we're recording, Rusted Robot Podcast, and my sister's show, the Soul Forge Podcast, which everybody should be checking out.
Ooh.
Soulforgepodcast.com. And you know what else the ESO Network has?
I wish I had a cool t-shirt so I could show off how awesome I love the ESO Network.
Well, it's funny that you mention that. I shared an article on our Facebook page this past week saying that everything on the ESO Network TeePublic store is on sale from June 19th through the 23rd. So the day this episode comes out is the last day of the sale, so I'll be sure to post this early and make sure, hopefully, all our listeners check this out.
Wowee!
But now is the perfect time to pick up all your ESO Network merchandise. Just click on the link, and it's, of course, the TeePublic store. Go to the link from our Facebook page, and you can find all kinds of t-shirts on here. There's ESO Network.
Jump City has a t-shirt on there.
What? On the TeePublic store?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
All you gotta do is type in Jump City. It's the first two things that pop up.
Okay, but not through this link. This is the ESO store now.
Yeah.
Link.
Just through TeePublic.
So they've got t-shirts here for Earth Station 1, for Nerd Bliss. Looks like the Dragon Con Report, and a few other random ones. The 42 cast. It doesn't look like there's anything for Soulforge or Rusted Robot. I think I'll have to talk to Mike and Mike about that.
Did we know that this was coming up, and did we submit a t-shirt design to add to the list?
We did not.
How can they give us the t-shirt thing if they don't, if we don't give them the design for it?
You know what? They might have even told me about it at one of
probably.
our monthly calls that we do.
Probably.
And it probably totally slipped my mind.
So if only we had somebody in the group who knew how to draw and do computer things like that.
Yeah, I wish we did. Do we know anybody like that?
We already have a logo thingy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, it's not good enough.
What? They're perfect.
But there's a lot of cool t-shirts on here for different things. Little rockets and various robot type things and science stuff and cats and spacemen, dog things. Lots of cool stuff. And I think I need to buy some shirts for ESO Network. Got to support our people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hi, this is Admiral Adama, Battlestar Galactica, saying you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Well, speaking of cool space stuff, did you read the article on our Facebook page that I shared this week, Kitty? About NASA to land the first woman on the moon as part of an upcoming Artemis mission?
I did not. Tell me more.
I will tell you more. NASA announced that it plans to land the first female ever on the moon in 2024. According to NASA, it has been 45 years since U.S. astronauts set foot on the moon, but the upcoming Artemis mission aims to establish a sustainable human presence on the moon by 2028, with the first woman and the next man greeting the lunar surface. During the original Apollo missions, multiple American male astronauts stepped foot on the moon, the last occurring during Apollo 17 in 1972. Sally Ride became the first American woman to enter space in 1983 on the STS-7 mission. Artemis aims to chart a radically new path for the nation's space exploration. NASA's Artemis mission seeks to demonstrate new technological advancements and lay the foundation for private companies to build a lunar economy. Named after the twin sister of Apollo in Greek mythology, Artemis will have humans explore the moon's south pole surface for the first time ever and lay the groundwork for human missions to Mars this century. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. Do they have like a design for what the living space is going to be like there?
Let me read more of the article. It says, to this end, the space agency is building the new Orion spacecraft as well as the highly advanced Space Launch System, which aim to propel heavier payloads off the Earth's surface and send humans into space for longer durations than previously achieved. NASA will also build a small spaceship called Gateway that will orbit the moon and enable easier access to and from the Earth. In a promotional video about the upcoming projects, NASA scientists explain that millions of tons of water ice were discovered beneath the moon's surface in 2009, and NASA believes this ice can be extracted by machines and converted into either drinking water or oxygen for astronauts, or it can be separated from hydrogen and used as lunar surface rocket fuel.
Oh, neat.
I am super jazzed about people getting back to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Super jazzed.
Yes.
Also possibly building a colony?
Yes, that's super jazzed. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Sending a moon there.
Mm-hmm.
A woman to the moon. Yeah. Fantastic.
Luther? His father sent him to the moon. No?
Okay. So, that, fantastic. I don't think is an outrageous step for NASA, because that's just weird. No, sent the woman. She's fine. She can make it. She's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an outrageous move.
It's a promotional thing.
Yeah, but it's calling it an outrageous move makes it sound like, oh, can you believe it? They're sending a woman. No, of course they're sending a woman.
Right. She can do it and
yeah,
just...
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, yes, make it. She's the first woman on the moon. Fantastic. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Not NASA, this article. That art.
To say it's outrageous is odd.
Yeah.
You were saying before how you very much would like to see that we stop piggybacking off of other people and build a rocket.
Their plan is for the next 5 years to go from basically a standstill to full production, launch, test, and vetting, and land a person on the moon in 5 years.
By 2024.
It's getting real ambitious for somebody that hasn't done anything in a decade.
Do we know that NASA hasn't been testing and working on stuff?
Yes.
How do we know this?
Because it's hard to do testing in secret.
Well, let's see here. It says NASA's impetus to once again create a lunar presence with astronauts gained new traction under the Trump administration. In 2019, May 2019, President Trump added $1.6 billion to NASA's $21 billion 2020 budget to kickstart plans to return the humans to the moon. Asked NASA to accelerate the plans to return to the moon and land humans on the surface again by 2024, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said in a statement, "We will go with innovative new technologies and systems to explore more locations across the surface than was ever thought possible. This time, when we go to the moon, we will stay, and then we will use what we learn on the moon to take the next giant leap, sending astronauts to Mars."
It'd be so weird to live on the moon.
So, if you got a big raise 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and you're told, okay, you got to use this money, and you got to build a brand new car from scratch.
Right.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think it'd take you?
To build a brand new car from scratch?
Yeah. Do you think you'd be in the testing phase already for your car?
In 3 months?
In 3 months.
No, you'd be drawing it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, I know they'd already been working on designs and da-da-da-da. And I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't be out far along. That is a very ambitious timeline.
It is.
Maybe they have a lot of people working on it.
Well, they've had people working on designs for years. The problem is funding. And yes, $1 billion is a good step. Anytime they increase NASA's budget, fantastic.
What happened to the space elevator?
The ideas for the space elevator is a fantastic thing, and it's a materials thing right now.
Oh.
We need to make long-chain carbon nanotubules.
Yeah, carbon fiber nanotubes.
Or another similarly strong material that we can form into long ribbons or chains. And then we need to move an asteroid into a geosynchronous orbit above a high point on Earth.
Easy peasy.
To be a base.
And then slowly lower the chain or ribbon down to Earth. And then we just have it anchored inside of a mountain so that it becomes a single tether point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds simple enough.
Yeah, it really is. It's dirt simple. You got a rock and a string you attach to the Earth. Bam, done. You just need a strong enough string.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I kind of want them to call it the kite.
Maybe you should start working on it.
Like the Earth's kite. Or balloon, because it would also kind of look like a balloon.
You also need like 40,000 kilometers of material.
That many?
Yeah, because it needs to be in a geosynchronous orbit above the point, right?
Right.
That's a roughly 36,000 to 40,000 kilometers out.
Okay, that's enough.
I was so excited when they came out with carbon fiber nanotubes, but the only thing I've seen them make out of it so far is nylon tights.
Well, it's because
But they're not even nylon because they're carbon fiber nanotubes.
They're not. It's gimmicked. They have some in the seed material, but it's not actually made from it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the commercials are really weird, and you can like cut through a watermelon that's inside the tight, and the tight doesn't get you
yes,
to run in it.
they are stronger, but they are not pure carbon nanotubes.
That would be amazing.
Because if we do that, we could build a space elevator. You just don't stop the nylon from growing. You just keep it growing and growing and growing until it's 40,000 kilometers long. Then you make a bunch of them to hang together. But the problem is we can only make them a few millimeters to like a couple centimeters. I think it's like the record right now. I'm not positive on that because like it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do it.
It's not easy, Kitty.
Mm.
It's difficult.
And a space elevator would be fantastic. Or what we could do is active support.
Active support?
So if you take some material and push it through a hose, you get some water and you push it through a hose, and you bend that hose so it's standing almost straight up in a loop.
Okay.
So it goes across, goes straight up, right? Bends and goes straight up,
yeah.
Makes a loop at the top and goes straight down, and you put that in just a hollow paper tube.
Okay.
That hollow paper tube will be able to stand up with a fair amount of pressure on top. That's active support. The active material flowing through it gives it rigidity.
Keeps it pressurized.
You could build active support structures miles tall. You could build them actually tall enough to reach space.
Okay.
But they'd be gigantic, and you'd have to have a giant thing moving a ton of material through there all the time to add the active support.
Right.
And, like, if you lose power, the whole thing comes crumbling down.
Ooh.
That would be a mess.
Yes, it would be.
Okay. I love things that are dangerous.
But you could build active support all the way up to space into a low orbital thing, and then build an orbital ring around the planet. And then, using the same idea of active support, you could build a ring that just sits there. Because you have a thing spinning one way inside and more material spinning in the opposite direction slightly faster, and the stuff on top will just sit there.
Wow, that does sound like a fun time.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Oh, trillions of dollars in multi-country systems, but we could be taking the tower up to the orbital ring and just...
hang out there?
And then just going off into space.
Right, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you wouldn't need fuel anymore.
No. In theory, you could climb the stairs in the tower to the orbital ring.
God, that'd be awful.
It's only 100 kilometers of stairs. It's fine.
I don't like it. I don't like even the idea of that many stairs.
You put a restaurant or a rest area every 40 floors, and
well, you'd have to, otherwise people would die.
Yes, they would. But since we're
you could live 40 kilometers off the ground in your tower, looking out of a giant panorama vista.
That would be nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get
away from it all.
Like, I guess you could. Okay, if you were climbing the stairs and then like got to like stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
Restaurant thing, I guess that would be kind of cool. It would take you an awfully long time to climb up there.
Sure.
But it would house a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's 100 kilometers up.
Yeah.
It'd be like cities worth of people in there.
Yeah.
Because you would need people to like run the rest stops and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool and weird.
A whole new economy, Kitty. A whole new economy.
They're going to need a comic shop in there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hypothetically, it could be done right now.
But?
Right now, it would take a lot of money and effort and political will to do something like that.
It would require world peace.
But technologically, we could do it.
Cool.
It's not that hard.
To get it to space.
We could build a tower to space and then build a ring around the Earth.
Nice. Like a Dyson sphere?
No, just a ring.
Just a ring.
Oh.
Well, you could eventually build a sphere around the planet by making layers of counter-orbiting rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just, like, you build a ring, and then you build a ring at a 45-degree angle offset to that, and another one 45, and another one, and then you just fill in the gaps between them. You could do that.
For sure, why not?
But
It'd be weird.
it'd be really expensive, and then
We
you'd be
also
putting
need,
a giant area that's permanently in shade on the section of the Earth until you englobe the Earth, in which case everybody's living in shade perpetually.
That'd be okay. It would cool down the
No,
Earth.
no. You really, like, everybody requires the sun to live.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it is our biggest food producer.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that. That's true. Well, getting to space is super cool. And since we're 100 kilometers up in the hotel, we're already closer to the 2 Earth-sized planets found in a nearby star's habitable zone.
We might be further, also.
Well, if we're on the opposite side,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's true. But it's pretty cool. There's a star called Teegarden Star, and if you've never heard it, you can be forgiven because it was only discovered in 2003. It's a very low-mass star, what we call a red dwarf, and it's close to the lowest mass you can have, and still call yourself a star. It's a mere 0.089 times the sun's mass. It's very small. Its diameter is 1/10 the sun's, and it shines at a feeble 0.00073 times the sun's luminosity. But the stars, or the planets, are really close to it. And
they're tidally locked.
They're habitable, or they could be habitable. They're in the habitable zone for this star.
Yeah, but the problem with the habitable zones of red dwarfs is they're tiny, which means your planet is guaranteed to be tidally locked, which means it is noon at the one side of the planet all the time.
Like the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually where we got it. It's because the moon causes our tide, and we're like, why is that? And we named it after that.
Yeah.
So according to the article, this star is 12.5 light years away, which is decently close. And observations of the reflex velocity of Teegarden Star reveals 2 planets. Planet B moves the star by a few meters per second toward and away from us every 4.9 days, and planet C by about the same amount, but with a period of 11.4 days. So there's all kinds of graphs and stuff showing how they figured out this stuff. And
so they detected it with the wobble method. That's neat.
Yeah. Its year is less than a week.
Well, the one is 4 point something days, so it's 8, so double whatever the oscillation factor is.
The orbit appears to be circular, and the planet is 3.8 million kilometers from the sun. Compared that to Mercury, which orbits the sun at about 60 million kilometers.
Yeah, well, it's a tiny star, so it's got to be real close to be in the habitable zone.
Also, you said that it would suck to live on a place like that because they're tidally locked. But you also said it would be cool for people to live on the moon.
But the moon has a certain amount of sunlight all the time that we can steal and use, particularly at the equator. A planet to be habitable, generally people consider it, I can go outside, not live in a domed spaceship all my life. It's generally what people think when they think habitable planet.
Oh, okay. Not have to live in a spaceship or a spacesuit.
Yeah,
exactly.
So one of the planets gets 1.15 times the energy from its star that Earth gets from our sun. Another one gets 0.37, not as much, but they're both in the optimistically considered habitable zone of the star. They don't know if it's habitable or not, of course, because they can't tell because it's so far away. But it could be, and if it's rocky, which they are thinking that it is, there's a good chance.
Actually, more likely, it's because of the placement. Because if we're getting the oscillation, we're generally not in the clean view to see it pass through the planet, pass through the plane of the ecliptic, so it doesn't dim. Looks like we're getting the wobble method rather than the dimming method.
Yeah.
Which means we can't, because what trick they can do for planets that are even further away is they can see what the spectrum of the light changes as the atmosphere of the planet goes through.
Right.
So they can check what the atmosphere is like on that planet, which is insane because you're talking about a minuscule amount of light coming through from a star, a minuscule change, considering the size of it, that we're reading from Earth, and we're going like, aha! There's nitrogen in that atmosphere.
Exactly.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty
now,
neat.
I will crunch the numbers for another 3.5 months. Aha! There's also carbon in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Another 3.5 months.
I think it's neat.
It's fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
Science.
That's right. So who knows? It's not that far away, and there might be stuff there, and there might not be, but it's still cool.
Yeah. I like exoplanets no matter if they're habitable or not.
That sounds like a t-shirt slogan.
Okay.
All right, so moving right along, you heard that Avengers Endgame is returning to theaters next week with a post-credit end scene because they want to catch the Avatar record.
Yeah. It's because Avatar went back to theaters and they had a 33-week run.
Yeah.
Avengers only been out for 10 weeks.
Did they put out the first movie again? Or is it the second movie that's out now?
For
Avatar.
Okay, so when they released Avatar, right, they put it out in theaters.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then after it lost interest, they took it away, and then they brought it back to theaters for all the people that missed it the first time.
So currently, Endgame is at 2.743 billion worldwide, while Avatar is at 2.788. So it's just in the lead.
So by how much? 88 and how much the other one?
788 versus Endgame's 743.
So
but is that the second Avatar movie or just the first one again?
Endgame and Avatar. There's only one Avatar out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they haven't released.
It's just I haven't.
2021 is when the next Avatar comes out.
Yeah. Well, that's just so it's the third time that Avatar's had their movie out.
No, they haven't re-released it again. They released it once. And then a few months later, they did it again.
Okay.
So they got a really long time in theaters, and they got a lot of money for it. So it's kind of cheating and saying,
Endgame is just doing the same thing that they did, except adding extra features.
They're adding more things to a movie that's still in theaters.
So that people get to see new stuff at least.
Yeah, they're re-releasing
so the nerds will go back for more.
Which
is fine.
June 28th is when they're re-releasing it. It isn't an extended cut of the 3-hour epic. It will have extra surprises for people who stick around. It says here, not an extended cut, but a version going to theaters with a bit of a marketing push with a few new things at the end of the movie. If you stay and watch the movie after the credits, there will be a deleted scene, a little tribute, and a few surprises.
So you're going?
I doubt it, but
You're going. You're going.
I don't know if it'll come here.
Probably.
They
need, what, $100 million more dollars?
Well, whatever 788 minus 743 is.
Okay, so they just need another 40-something million.
Yeah, something like that. So that's pretty easy. But
I thought that they had already beat.
No, they
were close.
So they beat them in.
Oh, in the first weekend, right?
Yeah, they smashed out the record in the first weekend, and
they beat all the records all the place.
But
so
it's
then
just
the long-standing
end title.
run because they had them go into theaters again.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I gotcha.
Because the Dark Phoenix movie and all the other movies took away people's eyes from Endgame to those movies, even though they didn't fare as well. But it still took it away, so they didn't get quite the amount.
Yeah, they slowed down.
They slowed down the Endgame train.
Oh, I saw a lot of movies this month. We saw Godzilla.
Yeah.
We saw
Pikachu.
Endgame. I saw Detective Pikachu.
No, Endgame. That was last month.
Oh.
Came out in March.
Well, it was all within a month's worth of.
Yeah, there was a lot of films.
30 days.
A lot of films seen in the last little bit. Nothing good and exciting until Spider-Man: Far From Home on the 2nd or the 5th.
Oh yeah, that looks really good.
That looks really good. Yeah.
They had a preview for it in Detective Pikachu.
Did they?
Along with Dark Phoenix, which actually looks pretty good.
It was all right. I think on the last episode I gave it a 6.8.
Yeah, it didn't look worse than the previous X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Because some of them are like trash.
Right.
It didn't look like trash.
It wasn't.
It looked
completely
entertaining.
It wasn't completely horrible.
Okay.
It was fine. It wasn't great. It's not going to be a cinematic masterpiece. It's not a classic of all time cinema.
No.
But it was a good.
But it looked
2-hour diversion.
Fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
There's explosions.
There was.
There's attractive people.
There were. There was a bit of a plot.
Oh, there's a plot?
Kind of.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that was fine.
Good enough.
Good enough.
So a potential news segment that we were kind of thinking about. This day in future history.
Yeah, kind of. Because this past week on the Facebook page for Rusted Robot, which you guys should all be on, following and subscribing to and all the good stuff, we've got Futuristic Movie Timeline. And it's just a kind of a picture that I shared. Came around somehow. And they've got different futuristic movies and the years they took place.
Okay.
So the first one on the list is Clockwork Orange, which, as we know, came out in the early 70s.
Yeah.
That's 1971, I think, but I'm not sure. And it took place in 1995.
Ooh, that far distant future.
Yes, I love that when that happens. You know, like...
25 years ago.
Yeah, this is what the future is going to look like. And no, it kind of didn't. Have you seen Clockwork Orange?
I have, years ago. I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah, it's one of the ones hard to watch.
I think Akira's in the same boat. I think it's 19XX is the year.
Okay.
Which means the latest year it could be is 1999.
Ah, okay. All right, the next one on the list is Escape from New York.
Okay.
1997 it takes place in.
Okay. New York was kind of dark like that in 97, right?
Well, kind of. It wasn't necessarily a prison, but maybe for some people.
Yeah, oh yeah. For some people, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Gotta kill Joey, because, he's a bad actor.
Right. That's true. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Guess what year that was supposed to take place in?
1953.
You would think so. But no, in fact, it's 2001.
Oh.
And
really?
Yeah. And we didn't have super duper computer AI things and space stations like that. So.
They were working on in the never mind.
Yeah. You ever see the movie Free Jack? I think that had Mick Jagger in it.
You know what? I think I have, but I don't remember it, so it could not have been good.
I think there was time teleportation and stuff. It's been a long time. It was supposed to take place in 2009. I don't believe we had time travel in 2009.
We did, but you just don't know about it yet.
Right, that's the way.
Because it hasn't gotten there yet.
Yes. The Postman, Takes place in 2013.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Do we have a big apocalypse?
Is that how your post route is?
Kind of sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in the winter.
How often do you have to use a horse?
Once or twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah. The first RoboCop that came out in 1987 was supposed to take place in 2015.
Oh, I was going to say 2015.
I'd buy that for $1.
I would also.
I
buy
really
that.
want to watch like that show. Just
right.
One episode of I'd buy that for $1.
That would be,
I want to see what it's all about.
That would be excellent.
Because everybody in that movie is watching it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
All the time.
The exec is watching it. Mm-hmm. The couple in the convenience store is watching it. It is everywhere.
Yeah.
I want to watch that movie.
Me too.
Show a movie. I don't know what it is.
We don't know.
I assume it's like The Price is Right.
Yeah, it's like
I assume
a game show of some kind.
There's like strippers on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the year of 2015. That was futuristic.
Game shows of the future. That's what happened.
And they still had 3-channel dial TVs back then, or up then, or whatever.
I know people that have them now, Shawn.
Yeah, true enough. So, but they were selling them new in the stores. So that was weird. Maybe it was a retro futuristic kind of thing.
Oh, the hipsters.
Yeah, the hipsters bought the old retro TVs. Back to the Future 2 took place in 2015.
Okay, yeah.
The Running Man, 2017. Remember The Running Man?
I remember.
Yeah, fight for your life kind of thing on a game show. Movie I haven't seen before. Rollerball takes place in 2018.
Okay, so which rollerball?
Not a clue.
Because there's two rollerballs.
I don't know.
There's one that was made sometime in the 80s, and then there was one that was made in the 90s.
Okay.
And I got into an argument with somebody that I was like, no, I've seen this movie before. They're like, no, it's just come out. I'm like, no, I've seen this movie before. And I got into a giant argument over it.
This year sees Blade Runner 2019. I don't think we have humanoid robots. Not that I've seen, unless you are one. Are you a replicant?
You mean you didn't know Josh was a robot?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. He is on the podcast, Rusted Robot.
He's not rusted.
I am not rusted, thank you.
I don't know. I haven't.
I
checked.
stay nice and lubed up.
Oh, yoy.
Moving right along, Soylent Green takes place in 2022.
Okay, I get.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, we might have to
eat people
and
in 3 years from now,
and rent people to live with us.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The dystopian times that we're living in. Children of Men takes place in 2027.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in forever. 12 Monkeys was in 2028.
And?
What? And what?
It took place in more than one timeline.
Yes.
What were the other years it took place in?
I don't remember. It's been a while, and it doesn't say it on this.
Well,
little
it was contemporary to the year that the movie came out,
which was 1995, I believe.
I've seen that movie so many times, and I'm still a little confused.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote it was a little confused.
Demolition Man took place in 2032.
I love Demolition Man.
Okay, so the earthquake in that has got to be happening soon because the big one hits sometime.
Well,
soon.
they're due.
Are you taking it as like
a prediction?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're looking at. We're trying to see if the years match up and if it was kind of like that or
like Demolition Man is not going to happen.
Yeah.
What about V for Vendetta? That takes place in 2038.
Fully possible. We can reach that timeline.
Okay. Event Horizon 2047.
47.
47.
Can't reach that timeline.
Minority Report in 2054.
We could reach that timeline, but the technology in that movie is stupid.
And could we realistically be there in that amount of time from now, 2019 to 2054?
Other than like the precogs, just finding psychics that are real.
Okay. How about Total Recall, which takes place in 2084?
We could, but we're not going to get 3 boobs.
Probably.
That's not how it works.
No. Okay. AI takes place in 2101.
We can reach that.
Alien in 2122.
Can't reach that one.
The Black Hole, 2130. That's
That's
an old Disney movie from the late 70s.
I don't remember the movie. I can't say if we could reach it or not.
Okay. Sleeper takes place in 2173.
I don't remember Sleeper either.
I believe that's a Woody Allen film where he pretends to be a robot.
Okay.
The Matrix takes place in 2199.
No. They think it takes place in 2199.
Right.
But they're wrong because they know that the timeline has been reset because people keep getting saved from the Matrix, and this is the 6th iteration of the Matrix, and we've gotten really good at it, and it's like 100 or something years per cycle, so it's actually like the 2900s.
Okay.
Did you guys hear the theory where John Wick is just another iteration of the Matrix trying to keep Keanu Reeves from figuring out that he's in the Matrix?
I had
Makes sense.
but it makes sense. Forbidden Planet takes place in 2220.
We're nowhere on track to get to that.
You don't think we could have cool spaceships in 200 years?
We can have cool spaceships,
yes.
Okay.
Living on another planet? No, probably not.
Okay.
I doubt we will be exosolar colonies by that point.
Probably not. The Fifth Element takes place in the year 2263, contemporary with Kirk's Enterprise.
Sure, yeah. We could reach that, kinda.
The hover car.
The hovering cars is a thing that we're not going to have. Not in the way that they just show them in those movies.
Not in 250 years from now?
They're never going to hover that high off the ground.
Okay. How about Zardoz, which takes place in 2293? That's the one where Shawn
Connery was wearing the bondage suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that movie's about. Star Trek takes place in the year 23... What the heck does this say? 2500 for Star Trek? No, that doesn't make any sense. No, that's Logan's Run for 2500.
Logan's Run?
Logan's Run in the year 2500. Okay. Star Trek's in 2387, they say.
Okay, which Logan were they? Logan Delta or Epsilon? You don't remember Logan's Run?
Yeah, of course I have it.
Okay, so which generation was he? He's like either the fourth or fifth generation of Logan.
Are you thinking of the island?
No.
Okay.
In the thing...
Because they all have the dealie in their hand.
Which tell...
that's right.
And they're all from the same year.
Yes.
Right? So everybody from that year...
has to go to carousel.
And they're Logan,
yeah,
right? And when you die, you're... Like, the new Shawn will be there, but he'll be Shawn... Like, you're Shawn Alpha, he'll be Shawn Beta.
Right, that's right.
I think it's just whichever one he is at the time.
Yeah, but it... So the latest one, I think, is like 5th generation. So, like, it's 5 iterations of that person. So 30 years times 5 is 150 years. So I don't think we have enough time to build the cities and have completed... Just collapse a society and environment and then have it rebuilt.
We don't have enough time to ruin it by then?
We don't have enough time for it to recover by then. Because it's recovered by then.
To ruin it and then recover it.
And then they have 3-4 movies that take place after the year 2500. Idiocracy, Barbarella, Planet of the Apes, and Dune.
Okay, well, Dune doesn't count, because that takes place like 30,000 years from now.
Right.
Okay?
Also, like, which part are you talking about? Just, like, living outside our solar system?
Just the whole Imperium in Dune, and the Butlerian Jihad.
But they're, like, not even living on our planet.
No, Earth is a long-distance memory that nobody knows where Earth is anymore.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I mean. Like, which part of it are you asking about? Which technology?
Like, all of it. Just is that something we can reach?
I believe that far in the future, we will definitely have that kind of, like, survive the desert outfit.
The stilt suit?
Yes. I believe we will definitely have those. All of the rest of Dune is unbelievable.
Okay.
That's why it's fun.
A lot of the stuff is fun. It's believable. Like, the glow globes are believable. They're the lights.
Oh, okay.
The self-floating lights that just kind of float around the building.
Okay.
And they're self-powered.
I could see that.
Their spaceships are actually very believable because the spaceship doesn't fly through the FTL. It's the navigator that makes it go through FTL.
Yes.
So everything else on that is actually it's like a really big ship that just kind of floats up there. And then you go
Okay. But, like, what everybody, inquiring minds, want to know, what about Harkonnen's hover chair?
Yeah, if you're inside of the building, I could make you a hover chair.
I want a hover chair.
So
okay, it'll take me 30,000 years to make it.
Yes. Are any of these movies realistic?
Yes. Particularly Dune, as we were just discussing.
Yeah, of course.
Is the most realistic of all those movies.
Okay.
That and the one that takes place in 1995.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Wall-E on there?
No. This might be older
Oh.
than that movie.
It's like 10 years old.
I'm not sure how old this picture is, but...
Yeah, Wall-E's been out for a while.
Yeah, but who knows when this picture was created. I just found it recently. But anyway...
I find that one fairly believable, but I don't know what timeline it's set in. It's a not overly distant future. Like, it's not like Dune far.
No, it's pretty far, because...
It's like 800 years from now.
Like, they calculated how long it takes Wall-E to build one of those towers, and that's like 1,000,000 years.
Oh.
I think we have to watch it.
But Earth is not a long distant memory.
No. So well, it kind of is. They don't remember what plants are and what they do.
I just want a hover chair, okay?
I understand.
It's a long time for a VHS to work, though.
That's a really long time for a VHS. But I think it's only like 5 generations of captains. The captain.
That's not that many.
So, yeah. That's still a long time. 5 generations?
5 generations of captain? That's not that long.
Yeah, let's assume he retires at old age. Let's say 60. So let's say 20 to 60. So 40 years per captain.
That is not that long.
That's 200 years.
That's 200.
No, there's an exact number.
You said it was way longer than that.
Yeah, I said it was It should have been because of the height of the towers that Wally made.
I think we'll have to watch it again instead of speculating on a movie we haven't seen in decades. So anyway, that's the end of this week's podcast. I know it's not decades, Josh. I'm just throwing out random numbers.
I was going to say, decades?
Yeah.
He's come back.
Oh.
From the future.
That's right.
Yeah, you're supposed to be back in 1995 with Free Jack.
Oh, yeah, right.
Or that's
something like that. Anyway, next weekend is the Canada Day long weekend. We're celebrating Canada turning 152 years old. I will be taking Robin back to the Sioux for the weekend. That's my brother from the former Space Jam podcast, and we're heading back home. So there won't be an episode next week, but we'll be back the week after with more fun and excitement.
Ooh.
So if you'd like to leave a review in the podcast store, that would be awesome. If you'd like to share the links for the episodes with all your friends and family members and random strangers, that would be great too. Yes, Josh?
700 years. I just looked it up. The Axiom was in space for 700 years.
That's not that long.
Yeah, I thought 800, so that does make sense. All right. So thanks for that interruption of my end credits sequence.
It was important.
It was very important. I'm glad you did that because the listeners need to know.
They do.
And until blah, blah, blah. And until next time, remember, the spice must flow. You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Shawn and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you, and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
50 years ago, we pioneered a path to the moon. The trail we blazed cut through the fictions of science and showed us all what was possible.
It's very pretty out here.
Today, our calling to explore is even greater. To go farther, we must be able to sustain missions of greater distance and duration. We must use the resources we find at our destinations. We must overcome radiation, isolation, gravity, and extreme environments like never before. These are the challenges we face to push the bounds of humanity. We're going to the moon to stay by 2024, and this is how.
This all starts with the ability to get larger, heavier payloads off-planet and beyond Earth's gravity.
For this, we designed an entirely new rocket.
The Space Launch System. SLS will be the most powerful rocket ever developed.
And with components in production.
And more in testing.
This system is capable of being the catalyst for deep space missions.
We need a capsule
that can support humans from launch
through deep space and return safely back to Earth.
For this, we've built Orion.
This is NASA's next generation human space capsule.
Using data from lunar orbiters that continue to reveal the moon's hazards and resources.
We're currently developing an entirely new approach to landing and operating on the moon.
Using our commercial partners to deliver science instruments and robotics to the surface, we are paving the way for human missions in 2024.
Our charge is to go quickly and to stay, to press our collective efforts forward with a fervor that will see us return to the moon in a manner that is wholly different than 50 years ago.
We want lunar landers that are reusable.
That can land anywhere on the lunar surface. The simplest way to do so is to give them a platform in orbit around the moon from which to transition.
An orbiting platform to host deep space experiments and be a waypoint for human capsules. We call this lunar outpost Gateway.
The beauty of the Gateway is that it can be moved between orbits.
It will balance between the Earth and Moon's gravity.
In a position that is ideal for launching even deeper space missions.
In 2009, we learned that the moon contains millions of tons of water ice.
This ice can be extracted and purified for water. It can be separated in oxygen for breathing or hydrogen for rocket fuel.
The moon is quite uniquely suited
to prepare us and propel us to Mars and beyond.
This is what we are building.
This is what we're training for.
This we can replicate throughout the solar system.
This is the next chapter of human space exploration.
Humans are the most fragile element of this entire endeavor, and yet we go for humanity. We go to the moon and onto Mars to seek knowledge and understanding and to share it with all. We go knowing our efforts will create opportunities that cannot be foreseen. We go because we are destined to explore and see it with our own eyes. We turn towards the moon now, not as a conclusion, but as preparation, as a checkpoint toward all that lies beyond. Our greatest adventures remain ahead of us. We are going.
We're going.
We are going.
We are going. We're going.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.